Welcome to Limitless You. This is the podcast that empowers you to tap into your extraordinary potential and achieve your wildest dreams. We're all about self-discovery, growth, and embracing your uniqueness. I'm your host, Taryn, and I'm thrilled to embark on this journey called You. Hello. It is a gorgeous day today, and I just want to welcome you to our Limitless You podcast. If this is your first time, I am so excited to have you here. Welcome, and I pray that it will be a blessing. If this you coming back for another episode, thank you so much for your faithfulness and just following and liking and sharing, and the comments. I know every week I talk about the comments that I get. They're just so encouraging for me, and I really do appreciate them. So let's jump into today's podcast. As you already know, I wanted to talk about being extraordinary in the ordinary. So how do we live a life of intention? How do we live a life that creates significance and creates change that impacts other lives? And in a nutshell, we could just stop the podcast here. It is quite literally just being extraordinary in the ordinary. And I want to go into that for a bit. John Maxwell has a book called Intentional Living. And a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today comes from this book of intentional living. And I really highly recommend that if you want to get it, you should get it. It's a great read. I've done trainings on it and I've worked with young people on it. But it really is an incredible read. So I just want to encourage you for that. But I believe that the ability to live a life of significance doesn't just happen. You know, we have to put in effort. It takes concerted effort to make a difference in our life as well as in the lives of others. If you are a parent, you know just how much work is required to help navigate and direct some of the questions and the life choices that your children may make. It starts off very young with having to feed them every few hours, and and then even when they're teenagers, you have to feed them every few hours. Can I get an amen? But there's different stages of where we need to put in this effort, but every single stage requires effort, and that's the same about living a life of significance, about being extraordinary in the ordinary. It's about choosing to live a life that matters. Choosing to have this life that matters depends on your willingness. It depends on your intentionality to put things in place that will result in you making a positive impact in the life of every single person you can meet, in your life as well as the life of every single person that you meet. And you might be sitting here thinking, okay, Taryn, why does this even matter? Like I have a mundane life. I get up, I do my 9 to 5. Maybe I exercise a little bit. I'm nice to people around me, but life, it's not necessarily within my control. There's things outside of my control that happen, and I just have to go with the flow. I can't do anything about what happens to me or the people around me. Well, I can't do anything about the war in Israel and Gaza. I can't do anything about the war in Ukraine and Russia. I can't do anything about, poverty in my neighborhood or whatever the case might be. But the truth is, yes, you can. There's a world full of examples of individuals who have planned the life that they wanted to live and lived it. There is a world full of individuals who live an abundant life and are still able to give time to people around them, are still able to give to their family, to their needs, to their churches and communities. It doesn't have to be on a tight budget. And yes, of course, there needs to be boundaries. But if you want to live a life that matters, it's your choice. It is 100% your choice. And it starts with intentionality. It starts with being extraordinary in your ordinary. Extraordinary in the things you do on a day-to-day basis. This is where living a significant life, this audacious confidence, you want to build your audacious confidence, it starts with intentionality on a day-to-day basis. Little by little, extraordinary in the ordinary. Look at the life of Mahatma Gandhi, right? He saw the sufferings of his people, and he lived intentionally in a way that made a difference in the lives of others. In the end, his daily decisions to put the needs of others before his own needs resulted in him living a life that mattered. And we don't all have to live on a level like that. Like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, like these guys live at a whole other level, but we can strive to live an intentional life and make a difference every single day. So while there are many things that are out of your control, you can choose a life that you want to live and not just let life happen to you. Don't you hate it when, you know, things like we recently had, there was an issue with our car, and then there was an issue with our furnace, and then there was an issue with these, and like all these things kept coming at us. And I was like, stop. We need to take control of what's happening around us. We can't stop being tossed and turned by just the things that are, letting this life happen to us. We need to come back into control. And that required us getting back into the daily habits of intentionality, being extraordinary in our ordinary. You're going to hear me say that statement a lot. You're going to be repeating it with me at the end of this podcast. So I want to give you as much value as possible in this short time frame. I really do. And we're going to cover some ideas that I believe that if you apply, you can really start on a journey to living a life of significance. I do believe that this is possible. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in so many of my clients' lives. And I just want to encourage you that you can have the extraordinary in the ordinary. So, let's have a look at 3 different topics. The first topic is, what is your story? We all like a good story. My kids, even though they're a little bit older, if someone's telling a story, they will sit around and just listen, because we all love a good story. And I think a lot of people would much rather sit back and listen to someone sharing a good, great story that keeps you on the edge of their seat. At the same time, it teaches you something valuable that you can apply to your life, rather than just sitting to the cold, hard facts, like, this is the day it happened. This is what happened. This is who was there. This is how it went down. End of story. We would much rather be like, the weather was, stormy and turbulent, or the sun was shining and you could feel the warmth on your skin. We all love a story. And so many of us come up with our own stories, though. Our own stories in our life that define us, that reveal what is important to us. We have stories that are filled with drama and humor and hope and courage, laughter, sadness, challenges, happiness, you name it. And all of us are a part of these stories in our life. And you know what is amazing is that the story of your life, you get to write it. We know, so I'm a believer, and I believe that Jesus is the author and finisher of my story, but he gives me permission to write a part of that story. And so I want to be writing my story. I want to live with the fullness of what I get to write. And you get to decide how it is written and told, even long after you've gone. Like, what is the legacy that your day-to-day life is going to leave? What are the stories that that is going to be told about you? We recently had my mother-in-law staying with us for a long time, and one of the things we were very particular about doing was asking her questions about her life so that we could have those stories. We'd never had opportunity to hear some of her stories before. In fact, we got one of those books, Grandma Tell Me Everything, or Mom Tell Me Everything. They're really amazing. You can get them on Amazon or any bookstore, I imagine. But, and it's just a pointed question of, what was your country like when you were born? Where did your family live? And so we learned so many things, including that her dad had fought in World War II in Singapore. We had no idea that that Black Zimbabwean soldiers fought in World War II. I think we knew, but we weren't cognizant of it. And so we learned something new. And there's even a medal in the family for his service of having been there. And so you decide how your story is going to get written even after you're gone. And I wonder, have you even thought about what you want your story to be? Or let me phrase that a little bit differently. Have you thought about what you want your life to be? What is your life story? Because I've mentioned before that some people believe that life just happens to you, but it doesn't. You are the author of your own stories. You get to decide how your story is told by being intentional, John Maxwell says, if your story isn't as meaningful or significant or compelling as you want it to be, you can change it. Do you believe that statement? If your story isn't as meaningful or significant or as compelling as you want it to be, you can change it. And I hope you do believe this statement. But if you don't believe it and you feel that your life is meaningless right now and there is nothing significant about it, then let's change that. Dare to dream. This is my wheelhouse. I love stepping in with people saying, come on, you've got a dream. We can do this. I'm constantly reminding my son, there is something inside of you. Don't compromise it. You've got a big dream. Don't give it away to other people. Like, guard and protect it. And each one of us has a dream, and we want to be able to bring that dream out. So how do you want your story to read? What do you want to be included in your story? Dream about it, plan, and then take action. And that action, again, is being extraordinary in the ordinary. It's not like some groundbreaking run, a 25K marathon when you've never run in your entire life. It is taking daily action, daily intentionality, one step at a time. The truth is, we all want one thing. We want our stories to be significant. We really do. We want our lives to matter. We want to make a difference. Even if it's in a few people's lives around us, we want to be remembered for something. And the only way to do that is to live each day intentionally. When you do this, there is absolutely no limit on what you can accomplish. You know how much I love this limitless lifestyle, Limitless You. That's a coaching program that I run for people because I know that it is possible. It is absolutely possible to live a life with no limits on what you can accomplish. You have the power within you to change. And that is ultimately going to influence others around you to do the same. It really is. When you intentionally make daily choices to bring about positive change in the lives of others, it's then and only then that you begin to live a life that matters. And you're probably wondering, well, if everyone wants to live a life that matters, then why don't they do that? What keeps some people from living a life of significance while others rise to the occasion? And the reason is that people who live their lives unintentionally see things that need to be done and say to themselves, something should be done about that, but do nothing about it. In contrast, people who live their lives intentionally see things that need to be done and just do it. They write their own story, and that they live a life that matters by intentionally making a positive difference in the life of others. We have a landscaping company just on the corner of our road. So it's about 4 houses down from us. This landscaping company, they moved in a couple of years ago. And without fail, every morning, and in the summertime it's worse because the mornings are earlier, but every morning they have their trucks come into their landscaping company and they're reversing to pick up their soil, they're reversing to pick up their plants or their snow plows or whatever it might be. So every morning before the birds wake up, you hear this beep, 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 and it is so annoying. It has got to be one of the most annoying sounds that has ever been created. I understand that it's there for safety, for people to be aware that this big vehicle is reversing, but early in the morning in our neighborhood, it's beep, 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 beep. Oh my goodness. Even on a Saturday morning. Sunday morning is the only day we don't get the beep, beep, beep. And there was so many times where I was like, I need to go to this company and tell them just how annoying that noise is. Like beep, 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 beep. But I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be that woman, that came in and complained. But it was so annoying. And so we just would grin and bear it. In fact, grinning was not happening, but we would just toss over in bed and try and cover our ears and say like, oh, I just don't want to hear this, but try and zone it out. Well, somebody must have said something, because last week they created a drive around their company that allowed the trucks to go in one side of this gigantic area through and out the other side. And now there's only maybe one truck in the morning, and they start much later. So somebody must have said something. So somebody took matters into their own hands and were intentional about making a positive difference for the life of our neighborhood. And I am so grateful to that person. I want to know who they are so that I can send them a big bunch of flowers or fruit basket or something, because now in the mornings, even though we're waking up early, it's not waking up irritated by the noise of these trucks reversing. So, have you thought about what you want your life to be? Do you believe that you can live a life of significance, even if it's changing the noise level in your neighborhood? Um, you know, begin to do things that really matter. I believe that you can live a life of significance and make your story a great one, but it's going to take effort on your part. It will take you changing your mindset and moving out of your comfort zone. And this is living extraordinary in the ordinary. What are the things that you do on a day to day basis that you can lift up, pick up, do with a better attitude, a better mindset? No victim mindset, but actually build your confidence in the ordinary things every single day that changes into intentionality of I am making a difference. So I'll use the example of going to the shop, going to buy your groceries. That's a very ordinary thing to do. But you can smile at the people around you. You can say hello to the teller. You can, instead of being irritated that the person in front of you has so many groceries and they're in the 14 items only and they've got 16 items, make conversation with them. Ask them how their day is going. So ordinary things that you get to do extraordinarily. Wipe down the counter before you leave so that you don't get frustrated when you come back and you see that there's crumbs and bits of pieces of food or whatever happening in there. Pick up, walk an extra 5 minutes every day. So being extraordinary in your ordinary. If you're already walking, pick up your pace a little bit. Take a little bit longer. Get off the bus, one bus stop sooner so that you can increase your walk. If you are in an office building, say hello to the people around you. If you are showing up for meetings, show up 5 minutes earlier. Be extraordinary in your ordinary, and you will see that consistency compounds. John Maxwell is always talking about consistency compounds, and it does. It builds and builds and builds. So you begin to build confidence in your ability to trust yourself. You begin to build confidence in your ability to talk to people. That's my water alarm to remind me to drink water. You begin to build confidence in your ability to impact other people's lives. Just small acts of kindness, small random acts of kindness. A friend of mine used to run a campaign about that. We can do those things. The way we greet our spouses or our partners. I remember years ago when the Love Dare book came out, and it was all about how can I treat the person better? How can I be extraordinary in the ordinary? Can I make you a cup of tea today? Hey, let me clear your plate. And just, it doesn't always have to be fair and equal. It's like, let me go above and beyond for the person in front of me. And that gets to change my story. I get to change my attitude, my mindset, and become the author of my story. Because if I want to get irritated every day, then I can. And I won't have an impact. Well, I will have an impact. It'll be that people don't want to be with me because I'm such a grouch. And I don't want that to happen. So put yourself in your story. What is my role in my story? Oh, hang on. It's to take control. Put significance in your story. I want to impact other people around me. I want to make their day better for having seen me today, for having met me today. How can I be friendly? How can I be kind? Even if I'm tired, I can be kind. Even if I'm worn out, I can be kind. Put your strengths in your story. So what are your strengths? Take those ordinary things that you do naturally. And guys, I talk about this all the time with your disc. Find out what your strengths are. Reach out to me. I want to do a disc assessment with you to help you see exactly what your strengths are so that you can put these strengths into your story so that your ordinary strengths can become extraordinary and make an impact. And then stop trying and just start doing. Woo, isn't that a big one? Stop trying and just start doing. We can be so busy, and we ain't getting anything done. And we need to stop creating these big, lofty statements about how our life is going and what exactly is happening, and just get on and do with our lives. So I hope this has been an encouragement for you. Just checking my notes to see whatever else I want to add in here. But what are some of the areas of your life where you think, oh, yeah, that's just my regular stuff? How can you add some spice to it and be extraordinary in your day-to-day being? How can you build your audacious confidence by being extraordinary every single day? And I have some questions for you. Can you be the best in the world at what you do? Can you be the best in the world at what you do? I know a lot of my coaches and a lot of my entrepreneur friends will say, yes, I'm the expert, I'm the best in this. But for a lot of us, no, we can't be the best in the world at what we do, but we can be the best me at what I'm doing. So what is the best that I can offer? How do I bring the best out in what I'm doing? There may be hundreds and thousands of coaches. Who determines who's the best anyway? But I need to be the best coach that I can be while I'm coaching. Another question you can ask about your life, and just shifting from that ordinary to extraordinary, is, are you even passionate about what you're doing? I had some conversations recently where some people were like, I just need to get out of my job. I hate my job. I just want to get out. I need to get out. But I was like, man, why are we still stuck in the space where we can't give ourselves opportunity to be passionate? And I get it. We need to pay bills. I 100% agree with the fact that, we need income. You need to pay bills. I'm not telling anybody to quit right now, but there needs to be something in our lives that we're passionate about, that we're doing. Whether it's in your 9 to 5 or not, find a space to be passionate about something, because that passion is a natural dopamine hit. It's a natural energy builder. It's a natural confidence builder, something that you're really good at. Find it and do it. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel stronger. It makes you feel like, I can attack this day. I can achieve these things. You want to be nice to people because you're doing great things. So find something that you're passionate about. And do you have resources to change your world? The short answer is yes. Yes, you do have resources to change your world. You have a smile. You have what's in your hands. My husband and I are always talking about what's in your hands. Use what's in your hands. Or when we're playing Monopoly with the kids, we say, play the cards that you're dealt. You can't moan about the cards that you've dealt. You can get strategic and make moves and counter moves. So do you have the resources to change your world? Yes, you do. And the more extraordinary you are in the ordinary, you will build up those resources. You will build up the opportunity to gain wealth, to gain wisdom, to gain relationships, whatever it might be. Be extraordinary in your ordinary, and you will see those resources increase. We recently had a long weekend, and so we were doing our gardening, getting everything ready for the summertime. And so we were cleaning up the backyard, and part of it was I was sweeping out the backyard and sweeping like all the grass and the mulch that had sort of blown out and got on the pavement and everything. And I was sweeping it, and I swept it into the side of the flower bed. And my husband was in. He noticed a bird come down, and this bird was pecking away at this mulch and stuff. And he was like, that's weird. Like, what is he looking for? Maybe there's some bugs or something. But the bird was picking up bits of mulch, bits of twigs, bits of grass, and flying off and creating his nest with these things. And so here was all these resources that we were seemingly throwing away. It was dirt for us. We were throwing it away. And God had used that to provide for the bird to create his home. So we don't need to go out and look for or make, you can, don't get me wrong, we're entrepreneurs, we want to create things. But I think we can often stop ourselves by saying, well, when I get this grant, when I get out of debt, when I get my promotion, when I X, Y, and Z, then I'll be able to do these things. But the resources are there. The bird knew. He just had to come down. He saw us putting it there. He came down. How the bird knew, I don't know. That's between him and God. But he came and took the free resources that were there and built his home with it. And we have so much in our hands that we discard, thinking it's not valuable and it's not worthy, but it really is. And you really can build with those resources. I was recently having a conversation with somebody about their finances, and they're hoping for a promotion at work. And I hope that they get this promotion at work. I really do. But the problem was that they were looking at the promotion as the solution. And I said to them, the promotion is a bonus. It's not a solution. Being extraordinary in your ordinary day to day, what is your budget? What are you sticking to? What are you spending your money on? What are the choices you're making? How can you be extraordinary in the day to day, in the ordinary choices? And then when the promotion comes, That's not the solution for you. You are the solution. Your intentional living is your solution to audacious confidence. Your intentional choices, your living extraordinary in your ordinary is your solution, not more money, more jobs, more people, a relationship, X, Y, and Z. That's not the solution. You have the solution within you and you can do it. You and God are a majority any day of the week. So you can do this. You have the resources available to make the change, to make the impact, to create the legacy that you wanted to create. I know I said I was wrapping up, and now I'm really going to wrap up. If you want to know more about discovering who you are, what your strengths are, what your challenges are, finding out what those resources are that you have available in your hands, I would love you to book a call with me, book a discovery call. The link is down below, and we can chat about what some of your needs are right now. And if it's a fit, we can jump into coaching. I have Limitless You is a program that I offer to help build this audacious confidence, to help build the ability to say, these are my strengths, these are my resources, this is how I can move out, this is how I can grow, this is how I can become my limitless me, or limitless you is what I love to call it. So please go ahead, book a call. I would love you to click, share. I'm getting all confused with the words, but I would love you to like and share this podcast and invite your friends to listen to it too. Have a fabulous week, and I will see you again next week so that you can live your limitless you.